Alright, welcome back. We're going to continue building our platform game today. If you go to the construct editor, open up the game that we were playing, experimental platformer. This is where we left off. We had the platforms put in, we had collision detectors for when the player fell off the bottom of the screen. That would respawn back at the beginning, back at this sprite start here with a particle effect, and we had an end of level goal that when we hit that it took us to the next level, which was the you win screen with a button that brought us back to level 1. So what I want to add in today is some coins, something for the character to collect, a heads up display that shows how many coins we've managed to get, and we'll also put in some moving platforms, and we're going to extend the level out a little bit so it's not quite as easy to beat. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is increase the level size. So over on the properties window on the left where it says width, let's just add that width. Let's take it up to 2000, and that'll extend. If you hold down control and use the mouse wheel, you can zoom out. That'll make the platform level nice and big, so a bit of a challenge for the player to get to. So the first thing I want to do is extend the base platform across, not that far. That should be fine. Let's put the goal all the way at the end of the level. Ignore that. All the way at the end of the level. We'll probably need to make some more gaps in the floor, I think. So let's bring that across. Copy that one across. Where was it? There. Do it again. Make another couple of gaps that the player has to navigate through. What I want to do as well, we're going to do a moving platform, so we'll do a reasonably big gap here, and this is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put a moving platform that goes left to right and just kind of moves from side to side that the player's going to have to jump on in order to get across this big gap. And then what I think I might do is put this a little bit higher up, and we'll take a couple of these smaller platforms that the player then will have to jump onto in order to reach the top. Let's just put it up here, and we can just pop it there, and that'll be the end of level 1. Right, now what we need to do is make a moving platform. So double click, let's make a sprite. The size of this moving platform, remember the grid is 16 by 16, so the width is going to be 32. You don't need to keep the aspect ratio. The height is going to be 16, so it'll be a relatively small platform. Hit OK, and then let's just give this a color. We've got the level as green, so let's just go a slightly darker green, color that in, and go a little bit lighter, grab the line tool, and then just draw a line around the outside, and then close that down. And there is our moving platform. Oh, one thing we do need to do is go back in, select the origin, put it at the bottom, and then that will sit nicely in between here, and we'll do another one over here. So let's give it a name, SPR underscore moving platform. Now we need to give it a behavior. So over here in the properties tab, click on behaviors, add new behavior. We're going to give this one the sign behavior. Now the sign behavior is going to let the platform move in a direction back and forth. You've got some options down here on the left. If you hit preview, it will show you what it defaults to, and that will default just to left and right on the sine wave in a horizontal movement. Period is how quickly the platform moves, and the magnitude is the distance. So if we want to make this go faster, we don't need to necessarily change the speed. We can simply just make it go the same speed for a longer period of time, and then that will make it go from point to point a little bit quicker. If we drop the speed down to 1, it's going to go nice and fast. If we take the speed up to 10, it's going to really slow down. So you can play around with these to get the kind of speed that you want. Just pop it back to the default. and then take the preview off. And what I want it to do is I want it to just go between these 2 points. I'm going to make an equal distance either side, pop it right in the middle, and now I'm going to drop the magnitude down to 25, hit preview. See, that's not quite far enough, so if I take that up to 30, 40, almost there. It's probably going to be a multiple of 16, so let's try 48, and that's exactly what I want it to do. Take the preview off. Let's copy out a version of that. I'm going to pop it right in the middle over here, and I want it to be right in the middle. 10, 1, 2, 3, and 10. And let's give this one a magnitude of, just to save my brain, 16 times 10 is 160. Perfect. But it's a little fast, so we're going to slow that down half the speed. And now that, I think, is quite a reasonable speed for the player to jump on. One last thing we need to do to these, because at the moment they're not solid items, so the player, if he jumps, will jump straight through. So we need to add the solid behavior. That should add it to both. It did. Let's just test the game out. Hit the play button. So now we can jump across. We can jump on. We can wait for this platform. Jump on. And jump off. And then we can get right up to the end of the level. You win. Great. Okay. Now we need to take this collision death that we made in the last episode. We need to hold down Control or Command if you're on a Mac and drag it underneath each of these areas. We can stretch it out, that's not a problem. So now if we fall down any of these gaps, we're going to be respawned back at the beginning of the level. Perfect, there's our moving platforms. Now let's make some pickups. So we're going to make a basic coin. So double click anywhere in the layout area. We're going to select sprite because we can animate sprites. Change the size. Let's do 8 by 8, half the size of the player. Now we're going to draw a basic coin. So the easiest way to do this, you can just do it with the paintbrush tool. Just do a black outline. 1, 2, 3, 4. Leave 2 on each side. Go to the bottom. 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 1, 1, and then draw a line down each side there. Let's color it yellow. Use the opposite color, kind of yellowy gold. Fill it in, and then what I'll do is I'll go slightly darker, get the pen tool, and we're going to go just around the left side there, and then we're going to go slightly lighter and go just around the right side there. So there's our coin. Let's right click down here in the animation window and then duplicate that. Now when you duplicate it, come and grab the selection tool up here, just drag down half of this right here, and once you've selected it, click and drag it across one, and then do the exact same thing on the other side, drag it across one, and now that's going to look like it's starting to spin. And now right click on the second frame here, the frame number 1, and duplicate that again, and then take out this entire row. Take out this entire row, move this one across, move this one across, get the pencil tool, go back to black, add that in there. Now that's going to start to look like it's spinning. Duplicate it again one more time, and then the last one. Make the whole thing black. And now we need to make sure that it spins back the other way. So go back to frame number 2 and duplicate that, and then drag that across after number 3, and then go back to frame number 1, do the same thing, drag that out, come over, click on animation 1, speed 5, click the loop box, and then hit preview. And you can see it's blurry there just because of the size, but it's going to spin infinitely now very nicely in the game. Close that down. Let's give it a name. SPR_coin. Can zoom in a little bit. Now we can just drag these out and put them in the level wherever we want to. Put one there. Hold down Control or Command. You can drag out a copy. Put them on there. Put it on there. Put it there. You can take another copy. Put it perhaps in the middle. Give the character a reason to jump when he's on the platform, which may encourage him to die. Put some more coins over here. We can put them here so the character can collect them, or we could even encourage him to jump there. Another one there, so there, and then we'll put a few, more just above these platforms. So there's lots of things to collect. Again, we can add different collectibles as we go. That's not a problem. That looks pretty good. Now you'll notice if we play the level now, there's no way we can pick them up because we haven't put any of that into the event sheet. All we're going to do is just kind of go behind them. But they look pretty good, just kind of spinning there by themselves. Again, we'll get into a little bit more detail in the artwork. We'll build our own sprites. We'll make the levels look nice and fancy. And I'll show you how you can do all of that in the construct editor itself. Obviously, if you've got software like Sprite and Pixel Edit, you can use that. But I think the editor is pretty decent. I use it quite a bit just for kind of basic on-the-go kind of artwork that I need. Right, let's close that down. Let's make it so now we can collect these. So we go back to the event sheet. Just want to change this one thing. Go back to layer 1. I added a new layer, which was my layout thumbnail, which I'm using to screenshot for the videos. You see it there. I just added that in. You don't need to do that. So in the event sheet for layout 1, we're going to add in a way for the player to collect coins. So add event, sprites, player, on collision with another object, coin. So when the player touches the coin, what's the first thing that we want to do? We want the coin to be destroyed. Once we've destroyed the coin, we want to now tally up some kind of a score. So we're not going to be able to do any more than that here yet, because what we need to do is we need to go and put that in up here in a Hud layer. Now, we're going to create a second layer for this. So if you right click on the layer, layer 0, add a layer to the top, and we're going to call it Hud, H-U-D, all in capitals. And the reason I put it in capitals is because this layer is going to be on a parallax of 0%, which basically means it's not going to scroll around the screen. It's not going to stay in one place on the screen when we scroll around. So by having it 0 and 0, it'll basically just stay as a layer on top of the screen as a HUD would. So no matter where the player goes, you're always going to see this layer. And we're going to want this layer on every single level that we make. So I'm going to go ahead on the left-hand side with the layer selected and change global to yes. That basically means when we do new layouts, as long as we put the same layer in with the same capitalization, so if it's all in capitals, keep it the same. As long as it's checked global on the first layer, it's going to be visible on all layers, and you'll see how that works when we go. So on the HUD layer, we're going to add some text. So double click, add text. The default text isn't really going to matter because this is just going to show the amount of coins we got, so we can just stick a 0 in there for now. I can drag that box down a little bit smaller, put it right up in the top left because that's where it's going to stay the whole time. Left on the horizontal alignment, I like to put it in the center on the vertical. Can give it a little bit of room to tally up a nice score. What we're going to notice if we play the game now, and you might have found this doing your own stuff, it's going to be pixelated just because of the size of the layer that we have. Oh, it's not even there. It's on the HUD layer because I haven't set the parallax. 0 to 0. So you're going to notice that it's, oh no, it's not pixelated. Have I changed the settings already? Yes, so full screen quality. If it's set to low, just set it to high. Otherwise, that's going to be pixelated when you push play. So now we have this. I'm going to change the name from text2 to txt_score, and then each coin is going to give us a score of 1. Now, go back to the event sheet. In order to track this, we're going to need to set up a global variable. So right-click. Sorry, I went a bit fast there. Right-click, add global variable. Change the name to score, the type is a number, and the initial value is 0 because we start with 0 score. I put it in as a global variable so we can reference it in any event sheet no matter what level we're on, and then we can kind of pull that number as and when we need to, and it'll always be available. So when the player collides with the coin's going to disappear, and we're also going to go to System, and we're going to add to the score 1 value, so 1 point. Click on that. So now every time we touch a coin, the score is going to go up by 1. The only thing is we're not going to be able to see it because the text on the screen isn't kind of coded in to show the score. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to add a new event. We're going to go System, and we're going to select every tick. And every tick basically means every frame of the game, continuously from the moment the player starts to the moment the player ends. Every tick, this is what we want to happen. So every tick, we want to make sure that our text score, we're going to set the text, and we're going to set the text to be, you can delete these two quotation marks here, and we're just going to set the text to be score, which is the global score, and you can see that by the global icon there. Click done. So every frame, every moment in the entire game, that score text on layer 1 here, this is going to display this number up here. So let's go ahead and play that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jump on that. 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait for that. 10, 11. Do I dare to jump to get them? That's challenging. 13. Can I get the last coin? And I fell. Let's try that one more time. Get on the platform, get across, get on. At least I got the coin. 15, 16, 17, 18, and then we're at the entrance, or the exit, sorry. 18 coins. And that's as simple as that. That's pretty much how it works. We can, for example, when we die, we can reset the global variable. We could potentially put the coins back in. But again, I don't know if we need to do that. I think maybe once the coins are collected, they'll stay collected. We'll just reset the guy at the beginning of the level, give him another chance to get through it. That's how we do that. So we've done the moving platforms, we've added the coins in, we've extended the level. I'm going to leave it there for now. We'll add some more to it in the next episode. Again, if you're following along, I know it's quite new and early days, but if you do find this tutorial and follow along, feel free to leave any comments on what you'd like to see, and then we'll implement that in the game and show you how it all works. Thanks for watching along.